Hi everyone, my name is Marisa Cortez. So for today's video, I am going to tackle my part, which is the functions and types of nonverbal communication. Before we proceed to our topic, our objectives are at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to first identify the importance of nonverbal communication in your life. Second, explain the functions of nonverbal communication as it works with verbal communication. Lastly, appreciation for the role of nonverbal behavior in human communication. So, what is nonverbal communication? Nonverbal communication is the transfer of information through the use of body language, including the eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, and more. So, for example, smiling when you meet someone conveys friendliness, acceptance, and openness. Everyone uses nonverbal communication all the time, whether they know it or not. So, nonverbal communication is dependent on seeing and analyzing physical movements as opposed to verbal communication, or the use of language to transfer information through written text, speaking, or sign language. So, why is nonverbal communication important? Nonverbal communication is important because it gives us valuable information about a situation, including how a person might be feeling or how someone receives information and how to approach a person or group of people. Paying attention to and developing the ability to read nonverbal communications is an invaluable skill you can leverage at every stage of your career. So, there are six of nonverbal communications function: complementing, contradicting, and repeating, which is being discussed by Mr. Mike Catalonia. So, let's proceed to substituting, accenting, and regulating. So, substituting, this can be substitute for a verbal message. Examples would be your facial expression often conveys a far more vivid message than words ever can. Next, complementing. It may add to or complement your verbal message. Now, let's proceed to contradicting. It is a sending nonverbal message that disagrees with what is being said. This can be done deliberately or ordered to confuse. It also may happen subconsciously when lying. So, for example, your facial expression often conveys a far more vivid messages than words ever can. Lastly, so now let's proceed to regulators. There are nonverbal cues which regulate interaction. Consider the regulators used in normal conversation, which determine turn taking. So, individual utilize eye behavior, inflection, and head nodding to regulate conversation. So, examples of regulators include head nods, short sounds such as um, mm, and expressions of interest or boredom. So, regulators allow the person to adapt his or her speech to reflect the level of interest or agreement. So, without receiving feedback, many people find difficult to maintain a conversation. So, let us proceed to several types of nonverbal communications So you should be aware of, including number one, body language. So body language is the way someone situates their body depending on the situation, the environment, and how they are feeling. So example, someone might cross their arms if they are feeling angry or nervous. Number two, movement. Movement is the way you move your arms and legs, such as walking quickly or slowly. It might be standing, sitting, or fidgeting, can all convey different messages to onlookers. The example would be sitting still and paying attention in a meeting conveys respect and attention. Number three, posture. The way you sit or stand can also communicate your comfort level, professionalism, and general disposition towards a person or conversation. The example is someone might slouch their shoulders if they feel tired, frustrated, or disappointed. Number four, gestures. While gestures vary widely across communities, they are generally used both intentionally and unintentionally to convey information to others. The example is someone might display a thumbs up, that is to communicate confirmation or they are feel positive about something. Number 5, space. Creating or closing distance between yourself and people around you can also convey messages about your comfort level. The importance of conversation, your desire to support or connect with other, and more. So the example is you might stand 2 to 3 feet away from a new contact to respect their boundaries. Number 6, paralanguage. So paralanguage includes the non-language elements of speech such as your talking speed, pitch, intonation, volume, and more. The example is you might speak quickly if you are excited about something. Number 7, facial expressions. So facial expression is one of the most common forms of nonverbal communication is facial expressions. Using the eyebrows, mouth, eyes, facial muscles to convey emotion or information can be very effective. The example is someone might raise their eyebrows and open their eyes widely if they feel surprised. Number 8, eye contact. Strategically, using eye contact or lack of eye contact is an extremely effective way to communicate your attention and interest. The example is looking away from someone and the ground or your phone. This may convey disinterest or disrespect. Number 9, touch. Some people also use touch as a form of communication. Most commonly, it is used to communicate support or comfort. This form of communication should be used sparingly and only when you know the receiving party is okay with it. It should never be used to convey anger, frustration, or any other negative emotion. So the example is placing your hand on a friend's shoulder may convey support or empathy. So that's all for my report. I hope you learned something and God bless us all.